Good day, my name is Kyle, and today I'm going to talk about some basic fundamentals really regarding your right hand when it comes to strumming. Throughout teaching, I always have students that are coming in, and, you know, some of them have been playing a little bit for a bit, and they always talk about, oh, I just have trouble strumming and stuff like that, keeping time and keeping the pulse and the groove of the song going. And I find a lot of the time it comes down to keeping the right hand moving. In my opinion, if you just keep this guy going all the time, you lock into the tempo of the song, the pulse, the groove of it, everything just kind of flows and locks into place. And I'm going to give you a couple exercises here just to help you really kind of get you on your way and really kind of solidify this. And it's really simple. It might seem kind of boring, but I can't stress it enough and how important this is. So what we're going to do is going to take a simple chord. Doesn't matter what you want to play. You want to play a G, you play a D, an E, F, whatever. Might not want to do the F. A lot of people have trouble with the F. So take the E chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to strum down what we call a whole note, meaning that we're just going to count 4 beats. We're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Really rudimentary stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what I want you to do is when you're counting those beats is to keep the hand always moving. We're going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really important, really simple, really boring, but really important. 3, 4. Now, when you see a band playing live, be it they're playing electrics or acoustics, really you'll see a lot more prevalent acoustics because you have a tendency to strum a lot more than you would say electric. When you watch a band playing, especially when there's 2 guitars playing, their hands are always moving, and the biggest thing is they're always in sync with one another. One guy's not going to be going down, the other guy's going to be going up. It's not like this. It's always like this, right? And they're locking into that pulse. They're locking into the groove of the tune. So, again, repeat, whole note. We look over here on the side here. We see our whiteboard. I got the first strum down here on beat 1, and the other strums we have here, 2, 3, and 4 in brackets, meaning that we're going to go through the motion, but we're not going to strum on them. Okay, so we'll just go again, repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch a chord, doesn't matter what it is, right? Doing this simple stuff really kind of locks you into that pulse and that groove that I can't stress enough. So let's try out doing a half note now. We're going to clear the whiteboard up. Okay, now we're going to look at half notes, which means basically we're going to strum a chord and we're going to count for 2 beats for each one of the chords. So in this case, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And just to recap from the last one was a whole note. Meaning we're going to strum down and count the 4 for each one of those ones. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, keep the hand moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Then now half notes. I'm going to double up on that. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, miss, 3, miss. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we look over here on the whiteboard, we got our first half note strumming on beat 1. We're going still through the motion, but we're going to skip it on beat 2, strike the next beat on beat 3, keep the hand going through the motion, but we're not going to strum on that. So again, recap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now look at quarter notes next. Okay, so now we're going to talk about quarter notes. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff. In this case, we're going to count to 4 again as always, but we're going to strum down on each one of those beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple, boring as always, but critical though that we keep the hand always moving. And the biggest thing, I forgot to mention this earlier, is that as we do this, right, and I can't stress this enough, the hand is always got to be moving in the sense that it doesn't stop. Meaning that when we're doing these quarter notes, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, we don't want to go 1, kind of slight pause, 2, 3, 4, like this, it's always moving. Think about it like a pendulum, tick-tock. It doesn't go swing out, pause a bit, and then come back. It's always moving. It's not going to stop like this. So I don't want to go 1, 2, 3. It's like think about it hitting like a trampoline down there and bouncing right back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really important. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So on every strum, we're going to be strumming. So next, we're going to look at eighth notes. Okay, now we're talking about eighth notes. So basically, in a sense, what happens here is that we're going to be playing 2 evenly spaced notes in the span of 1 beat. So this is, again, critical that the hand's always moving so that these eighth notes kind of lock up into that pulse. So as we're strumming and we're doing the quarter notes, as we just did before, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this, right? And we're keeping the hand moving, meaning that we're not stopping like this, right? It's always moving like this. Your hand is automatically doing eighth notes. We're just not playing them, right, on that upstroke. So eighth notes work like this. They're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So that's how we count. We count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If we look over the board here, we have the strokes down and up, but we use a plus sign to represent the word and, right? You can write in the word and, or just the plus sign is really quick and simple. Another thing too, as you're tapping your foot, and when your foot goes down, we strum down. The foot comes up, we strum up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Simple stuff, boring, but critical. Let me get this down. Now, I want to kind of put some of this together. You're going to see how this all kind of falls into place. Let's look at one of the most common strumming patterns we got going. Okay, so now we're going to look at probably one of the most common strumming patterns going. Simple stuff, and it gets used in so many different ways, and it's a great kind of fallback rhythm to go to. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go down, down, up, down, up, right? Down, down, up, down, up. So now if you look at my hand moving, there's a stroke in there I'm not playing on. So it's down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. If we want to count it, we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now a lot of times when people hear this pattern and they do it, they'll go down, down, up, like that. So they're flipping those last 3 strums around. It's the right rhythm, but the wrong strokes. And I find that when you stop that hand moving, you have a tendency to kind of fall out of the timing, of the groove and everything, right? By keeping that hand moving, right, like this, we're going to lock into that pulse. Now, if we look over here on the board, I have the first down stroke, number 1, and I go 2, and, miss, and 3, 4, and. Sorry, my bad. So it's 1, 2, and, miss, and 4, and. Now, I have the and in here, the word and, for the other eighth note that I'm not playing. Sometimes what people like to do, as they count through a bar like this that has, eighth notes added into it, they like to kind of count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the full bar. Even though they're not playing any of those eighth notes, they're just setting themselves up for the timing and the groove to hit some of those offbeats, right? So I personally don't like to count anything I'm not playing. Maybe when I start to deal with some 16th notes, I'll kind of get the feel for that and I'll count them. But for the most part, I don't want to count anything I'm not playing. I don't want to get tongue-tied and stuff. So, recap, we're going to go down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Count again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. 1, 2, and miss, and 4, and. So, really common strumming pattern. Another thing that's really popular we can do, and this is to add another dimension to it, we can pluck the bass note on it. So we go 1. adds a dimension to it, like you got maybe like a bass player playing with you, or another part of the tune in that. So what I'm going to do now is going to write up a simple little exercise here to help you kind of lock into that pulse again, and to really kind of solidify it. Okay, so now got a couple exercises I'll have you do here. We'll have a printout of a PDF, and that you can practice on some of these. Over on the whiteboard here, I have just some simple ones, but for the PDF, we'll make them a little bit more trickier. Again, this comes down to practicing keeping the hand always moving. So basically, what I have here is just a kind of random pattern of whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and that. I don't have the eighths on here yet. Ran out of space, but for the PDF, we'll have them all in there. So keeping the hand always moving. We're going to strum on our chord. We're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Next bar we go 1, miss, 3, 4. So half notes thrown in there, followed by a quarter note, whole note. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes, 1, miss, 3, miss. Quarter notes coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Followed by a half. 1, miss, 3, miss. So I'll play through it non-stop. It goes like this. Watch how my hand's moving and not stopping, and it's not pausing at all in any way whatsoever. So here we go. Hold back up the top. Simple exercises, boring is all good, I know. But really, I know I keep saying it's critical that this hand is always moving. Once we start to get into more complicated strumming patterns, it's going to be really important that this hand's always moving and locked into that groove and the pulse of the song. It just makes things so much easier. I could write out like these patterns, right? And you might not even necessarily know how to count them, but if you just followed the strokes and kept everything in sync with it, everything falls into place perfectly. You're not going to go wrong. So yeah, I hope that was really helpful to you. Really important stuff to get down. I know it's simple. I keep saying that, but I know a lot of people struggle with this, and I really hope it helps out for you in terms of getting your right hand strumming going.